Have you ever been so good at something that everyone kept asking when you'd leave it for something bigger? As if the work you loved was just a place you were passing through? Greg Pavlik is 43. He still coaches in the gym where he learned to wrestle. Greg has been head coach at Wadsworth High School in Wadsworth, Ohio since 2006. Coach Wojcik's assistant before that. 12 individual state champions, 2 team titles. He teaches social studies for his salary. The coaching stipend comes to about $5 an hour. He makes the rest on a mat, a summer camp, Sunday lessons, a youth club Tuesday nights, all of it with a kid in front of him. The only money he'd never taken was the kind that paid you to talk about coaching instead of do it. Sarah's the nurse at Wadsworth Middle. Tuesday morning, Tyler Brown called from Manhattan, state champ 2012, 32 now, founder of a sports tech startup that broke down wrestling technique with AI. Series A just closed. He didn't want Greg to coach. He wanted Greg's eye, what made other coaches trust the product. Chief Coaching Officer, $250,000 base. Scale your impact, coach. You're stuck in Wadsworth. More than he and Sarah made in a year put together. Tyler said there was no rush. Greg gave himself till Friday anyway. He wouldn't walk his team into sectionals carrying it. Sarah said she could move. The kids could change schools. Wednesday night, Greg sat in his truck in the empty lot. Through the dark window, the bracket board showed faint in the streetlight. Thursday morning, Greg got to the school at 5. He opened the wrestling room himself, turned on one bank of fluorescence over the back wall, and went to the bracket board. The bracket board was a 4x6 sheet of plywood that had hung on the back wall since 1975. Each season, the postseason brackets went up in pencil and came down in spring, erased for the next year's. 50 seasons of it, until the plywood had gone soft and gray with graphite and the eraser ghosts of old names floated up under the new ones. More than the trophy case in the hallway, that gray wood was the team's actual record. Wojcik had filled it for 31 years, retired in 2006, gone 5 years now. Greg had filled it every season since, 20 years of his own hand laid over the older man's. This morning he pulled the number 2 pencil out of the coffee can on the windowsill. He filled in Friday's section qualifying bracket from the seeds the conference had released the night before. 132. Connor Hill versus Eli Becker in the final. 145. Tucker Yates, freshman, opening round. He stared at the board for a long time before he set the pencil down. 5:30 in the morning. For the first time in 9 years, Greg let Mike run the morning lift. He stayed in his office reviewing the deck. Slide 9. Our movement library catalogs 2,400 distinct wrestling actions, each tagged with coaching cue and risk profile. Through the wall, he could hear the slap of mats, the count, Mike's voice trying to sound like his. 45 minutes in, the door opened. Connor, his senior captain, sweat-soaked, looking for him. "Coach, you coming out?" Greg said he'd be there in a minute. He wasn't. When the practice video came across his phone at noon, he watched Connor hit his bad shot 3 times in a row, head turning before the takedown, arm exposed. Mike had not seen the cue. The cue was not in slide 9. The cue was Connor, specifically, the kid who had flinched away from contact since a 7th grade concussion, and Greg was the only person in Wadsworth who knew where it came from. That evening, the contract was open on his laptop. DocuSign, the signature line glowing blue, a note from Tyler's assistant, "Whenever you're ready." Greg set the cursor on the line and left it there a long time. Then he closed the laptop. He told Sarah he hadn't decided. She nodded and went back to the dishes. He watched her hands move through the suds, the gold band worn thin. 9 at night, he drove back to the school. The wrestling room smelled of sweat and warm rubber. Connor was there in street clothes, putting away cones alone. Greg pulled him to a side mat. Walk through that shot, slow. They drilled it for 40 minutes. Don't turn your head, eyes on the leg, drive through. 60 repetitions, both sides. Greg's head was still in Manhattan. His hands hadn't left the mat the whole time. Connor went home at 10. Greg sat in the empty room. Friday afternoon. The section qualifying tournament was at Brunswick High. Connor wrestled at 4. He won his first, 9-3. He won his second on the buzzer, head down, eyes on the leg, the cue from last night. 8-7. Between matches, Greg sat on the bench by himself, watching Tucker Yates, freshman, 145, warm up across the gym against a senior from Aurora. Tucker shot a bad double and gave up 2 off it. In the second, the Aurora kid cranked him onto his back, the cradle that had pinned everyone all year, and Tucker bridged and kicked and would not give up his shoulders. He lost 6-2, but he didn't get pinned. He walked off the mat without looking at his coach. Greg got up from the bench. He crossed the gym to where Tucker sat alone, wiping his face with a towel. He sat down on the bleacher beside him. They watched the next match without speaking. Greg was looking at Tucker's hands on the towel. They knew nothing yet. By next March, they'd know things they didn't know, but only if somebody stayed in the room and showed them. No deck slide would. After the third whistle, Greg said, "Next year, we start the head fake in May." Tucker nodded once without looking at him. Sunday night, Greg drafted the email to Tyler. "Thank you. I'm going to stay where I am. Best of luck with the build." He sent it at 11. Monday morning, 5 o'clock, Greg was in the wrestling room before the boys arrived. The bracket board was up. Friday's results penciled in. Connor at 132 with a W, Tucker at 145 with the L. He pulled the number 2 pencil off the windowsill and wrote in the margin beside Tucker's name, May, head fake. For 50 years, the board had only kept score. It was the first time he'd written next year onto it. The freshmen came in for early practice. Tucker was among them, quiet. Greg pulled him to a side mat. "Show me that shot you got caught on." Tucker showed him. They drilled it for 40 minutes. The other kids warmed up around them. Mike came in at 6 and took the rest of the team for warm-ups without interrupting. Greg drilled the head fake with Tucker until the bell.